Start with one small change. Not 10. Not a perfect life overhaul. One honest shift, one better decision, one new standard. That is how the snowball growth effect begins. A snowball does not start as a huge force. It begins as something small enough to ignore. But once it starts rolling, it gathers weight. It gathers speed. It gathers momentum. And suddenly what looked tiny becomes powerful. Your life works the same way. One small act of discipline can turn into a stronger habit. One stronger habit can turn into a better day. One better day can turn into a better week. One better week can change your confidence. One stronger confidence can change your choices. And those choices can change your future. You do not need a miracle to begin. You need movement. You need one real change that starts the roll. Most people wait for a huge breakthrough before they believe change is possible. They wait for a perfect Monday, a perfect mood, a perfect plan, a perfect level of confidence. But life rarely starts with perfection. Life starts with intention. It starts when you stop asking for ideal conditions and begin working with the conditions you have. That is the secret many successful people learn early or learn painfully later. Change does not usually arrive like lightning. It grows like a snowball. Quiet at first, then stronger, then impossible to ignore. If you feel stuck, this is good news, because being stuck does not mean you are broken. It means the first push has not happened yet. The first push is a choice. It can be small, but it must be real. Make the bed. Write the plan. Take the walk. Send the message. Study for 20 minutes. Save the first dollar. Clean one corner. Finish one task. These are not tiny things when they become the beginning of momentum. These are the first inches of the roll. A lot of people underestimate the power of small changes because they are looking for dramatic results too soon. They think if it is not instant, it is not working. But the snowball growth effect teaches the opposite. Small changes are often the only changes that can survive long enough to become large. Big promises are exciting, but they fade. Small promises are humble, but they build trust. When you keep a small promise to yourself, your mind starts to notice. It remembers. It begins to believe you more. That belief is the foundation of confidence, and confidence is the fuel for bigger action. If you keep making one small improvement every day, you are not just improving your results. You are improving your relationship with yourself. You are becoming someone who can be counted on. That matters more than people realize. Because when you trust yourself, you stop living in internal chaos. You stop negotiating with every mood. You stop waiting for a rescue that was never coming. You start becoming the kind of person who creates movement from within. The first snowball is your mindset. Everything begins there. If your mind is trapped in self-doubt, every step feels heavier than it should. If your mind keeps saying you are too late, too weak, too inconsistent, too behind, then even good opportunities can feel impossible. But the mind can be trained. It can be redirected. It can be taught a better language. That is where the snowball starts. Replace the language of defeat with the language of growth. Instead of saying I always fail, say I am learning how to stay in the game. Instead of saying I never finish, say I am building the habit of completion. Instead of saying nothing changes, say small changes are already happening. This may sound simple, but simple is powerful when it is repeated. Your brain listens to what you repeat. If you repeat discouragement, you build discouragement. If you repeat truth, patience, and possibility, you build a stronger inner world. And the stronger your inner world becomes, the more your outer life begins to shift. The snowball gets its first layer not from luck, but from what you decide to believe when no one else is speaking. Then comes action. One thought is not enough. One idea is not enough. A snowball becomes powerful because it moves. Your life changes because your choices move. That is why action matters so much. You can think about a better life for years, but if you never begin, nothing rolls. Action is the push. It can be awkward. It can be slow. It can feel unimpressive. But action creates evidence. And evidence changes belief. If you want confidence, do something worthy of confidence. If you want discipline, do something disciplined. If you want peace, do something that reduces chaos. If you want growth, do one growth-producing thing today. Not everything. One thing. Maybe it is waking up on time. Maybe it is choosing water instead of another distraction. Maybe it is reading instead of scrolling. Maybe it is applying for the job. Maybe it is starting the project. Maybe it is apologizing. Maybe it is saying no. Small action creates motion. Motion creates momentum. Momentum creates identity. That is how the snowball grows. One decision at a time, one repetition at a time, one honest effort at a time. Consistency is what keeps the snowball from melting. Many people have bursts of motivation, but bursts do not build mountains. Repetition does. Consistency is not glamorous, but it is powerful because it compounds. What you do every day becomes what your life feels like. If you keep repeating a positive pattern, that pattern gets stronger. If you keep repeating a negative pattern, that one gets stronger too. This is why your daily life matters so much. The little things are never little for long. A 10-minute workout, a 15-minute focus block, a nightly journal note, a clean space, a phone put away during work, a decision to sleep earlier, a decision to prepare instead of panic. These actions may not look like destiny while you are doing them, but they are absolutely shaping it. Consistency takes the first push and turns it into a real force. It says, I will not stop just because the results are not loud yet. I will keep going because quiet progress is still progress. That quiet progress may be the very thing that saves your future. Resilience gives the snowball the strength to keep rolling when the road gets rough. Life will put hills in front of you. It will put resistance in front of you. It will put doubt, disappointment, and delay in front of you. A weak person sees that and quits early. A resilient person sees it and adjusts. They do not pretend the hill is flat. They do not deny the struggle. They simply keep moving. They understand that effort matters most when conditions are not perfect. This is where real growth happens. Not when everything is easy, but when everything is trying to slow you down and you keep going anyway. Resilience is built every time you recover faster. Every time you refuse to turn one setback into a final verdict. Every time you say, this is hard, but it is not the end. That sentence can save a life. It can save a career. It can save a dream. Because the snowball grows not only from progress, but from persistence. If you can keep rolling, even slowly, even imperfectly, the force of your effort begins to multiply. There is also a hidden side to growth that many people miss. The snowball effect does not always look impressive at the beginning. In fact, it often looks unimpressive on purpose. That is how it protects the process. If every change were dramatic right away, people would become addicted to quick results and abandon the slower work that creates lasting change. Small beginnings test your character. They ask whether you can care about something before it becomes visible. They ask whether you can respect what is tiny enough to be overlooked. That matters because almost everything meaningful begins that way. Confidence begins small. Discipline begins small. Self-respect begins small. Peace begins small. Success begins small. The person who learns to value the small beginning develops a different kind of strength. They stop insulting the process because it is quiet. They stop demanding proof before participation. They stop treating slow growth as if it were worthless. Instead, they learn to see potential in repetition. They learn to see power in patience. They learn to see that what is small now can become powerful later if they keep feeding it. That mindset changes everything. You may be at the stage where no one else sees what you are doing. You are trying to become better, but the progress is still invisible to the outside world. That can feel lonely. It can make you wonder if the effort matters at all. It matters. Very much. A snowball does its best work before people are even paying attention. The same is true for your growth. The time you spend learning, practicing, healing, and building may seem quiet, but it is not wasted. It is forming the person who will be ready when the opportunity comes. If you rush this part, you may arrive too weak to sustain what you asked for. If you honor this part, you become stronger than the challenge. So do not despise the hidden season. Use it. Protect it. Let it build your depth. The world may not applaud yet, but your future is already being shaped by how faithfully you respond to ordinary days. One quiet choice can become a turning point. One turning point can become a pattern. One pattern can become a life. The mind likes to exaggerate delay. It says if the result is not immediate, the effort is pointless. That is a lie. Delay does not mean failure. Delay means the process is still gathering weight. A snowball cannot grow without time. Your life cannot grow without time. That does not mean you should sit and wait passively. It means you should keep pushing the snowball, even when the hill is long and the progress seems slow. If you stop because you cannot yet see the result, you lose the very momentum that would have brought the result closer. So keep going. Keep learning. Keep adjusting. Keep building. Keep showing up for the work. The longer you stay committed, the stronger the effect becomes. This is true for mindset, health, work, relationships, and personal discipline. Every area of your life responds to repetition. Every area of your life responds to care. Every area of your life responds to the energy you consistently place into it. The question is not whether small actions matter. They do. The question is whether you will give them enough time to compound into something powerful. That is the snowball test. Another powerful truth is that negative habits also snowball. So if your life has felt heavy, you are not imagining it. The weight may have been built over time. A little procrastination becomes a normal pattern. A little self-criticism becomes a harsh inner voice. A little distraction becomes a broken focus. A little comfort becomes avoidance. A little doubt becomes a personality. That is why you must pay attention early. You do not need to wait until the avalanche is massive before you take action. Catch it while it is still small. Replace the habit. Interrupt the pattern. Choose a different response. Small negative habits are dangerous precisely because they feel manageable. But if you leave them alone, they will grow. The good news is that the same is true of positive habits. A little honesty grows. A little discipline grows. A little courage grows. A little self-respect grows. A little consistency grows. What you feed will increase. That means your daily choices are never neutral. Every choice pushes some direction. Every choice adds weight. So be deliberate. Build the habits that strengthen you before the ones that weaken you become your normal. One of the strongest moves you can make is to start protecting your mornings. The morning is often where the snowball gets its first push. If your morning is chaotic, your whole day often feels scattered. If your morning is intentional, your whole day has a better chance of becoming productive. You do not need a perfect morning routine. You need a real one. Something simple. Wake up with purpose. Hydrate. Move your body. Sit in quiet for a moment. Review your priorities. Do the hardest useful thing first. These actions create a tone. They tell your mind that the day will not control you. You will lead it. That leadership matters because a productive life is not built by accident. It is built by repeated structure. A strong morning can become the first layer of momentum. Then the next choice adds weight. Then the next. Before long, you are no longer dragging through the day. You are guiding it. That shift may sound small, but it is huge. One intentional morning can change the way you think about yourself. It can prove that change is possible. And proof creates confidence. The snowball effect also works in your relationships. The way you speak to people, the way you show up, the way you keep your word, the way you listen, all of it compounds. One caring response creates trust. One broken promise creates distance. One moment of patience creates safety. One moment of carelessness creates tension over time. These moments shape how people experience you. But more importantly, they shape how you experience yourself. If you keep showing up with honesty and respect, you build a life you can stand behind. That matters in every area. Friendships, family, work, love, community. All of it grows or weakens through repetition. The same is true with yourself. If you keep speaking kindly to yourself while still demanding growth, you create an inner environment where progress can live. If you keep speaking harshly and giving up quickly, you create a place where fear will thrive. So pay attention to what is multiplying. Your words are seeds. Your habits are seeds. Your reactions are seeds. Choose carefully, because what you repeat will become the atmosphere of your life. There will be days when the snowball seems to stop. That happens. Progress is not always a clean, straight line. Sometimes the path flattens. Sometimes resistance is stronger. Sometimes you feel tired. Sometimes motivation fades. Sometimes old habits try to pull you backward. Do not panic when that happens. Do not declare the whole process a failure. A snowball that pauses is not the same as a snowball that is gone. Sometimes it just needs another push. That is life. There are moments that ask for persistence more than excitement. Moments that ask for patience more than speed. Moments that ask for calm more than force. When those moments come, do not shame yourself for needing to begin again. Beginning again is part of growth. The important thing is that you begin again. You return to the work. You return to the routine. You return to the standard. Each return strengthens your character. It tells your mind that setbacks are temporary and recovery is possible. That is a powerful lesson. A person who can restart well becomes very hard to defeat. If you want the snowball to become an avalanche, you have to believe that the small choices matter, even when they feel boring. Boring is often where greatness hides. The repeated practice, the repeated focus, the repeated effort, the repeated correction, the repeated commitment. This is where success is really built. Not in the dramatic highlight, but in the quiet discipline nobody celebrates. There is nothing weak about that. In fact, it is one of the strongest things a person can do. To keep going when no one is cheering takes courage. To keep improving when the changes are slow takes patience. To keep trusting the process when the world wants fast results takes maturity. That maturity will protect you later. Because once the avalanche begins, you will not be overwhelmed by it. You will know how it started. You will know the cost. You will know the patience it required. And that knowledge will make the success more meaningful. You will not be holding something fragile that appeared by accident. You will be holding something you helped create, one layer at a time, one decision at a time, one day at a time. That is real success. Some of the most important snowballs begin with identity. The story you tell yourself about who you are determines what you keep doing. If you believe you are the kind of person who quits, your actions will follow that belief. If you believe you are the kind of person who grows, your actions will follow that too. Identity is powerful because it shapes behavior long before results show up. That is why it is so important to start speaking like the person you are becoming. Say, I am learning discipline. Say, I am becoming more focused. Say, I am becoming more resilient. Say, I am building trust with myself. Say, I am not where I want to be yet, but I am on the path. These statements are not fantasy when they are backed by action. They become direction. They become a mental map that helps you stay aligned with your efforts. The snowball effect is not only about what you do. It is about who you decide to be while you do it. That choice influences everything. You are allowed to start small. You are allowed to be slower than you wanted. You are allowed to be in progress. None of that disqualifies you. In fact, it may be the exact place where the real work begins. The pressure to look impressive can make people quit before they ever gain traction. But traction is what matters. Not appearance. Not instant validation. Traction. That steady grip on the ground. That sense that movement is finally happening. Once you get traction, momentum becomes easier. Once momentum becomes easier, discipline feels less like punishment and more like identity. That is why you should stop judging your life by how loud it looks and start judging it by whether it is moving in the right direction. A quiet year of real progress is worth more than a loud month of empty excitement. When your life begins to move with purpose, even slowly, you are no longer standing still. And standing still is where many dreams quietly disappear. The snowball effect protects your dream by making progress repeatable. Repetition is what turns intention into reality. If you feel behind, do not insult yourself. Start. If you feel stuck, do not panic. Start. If you feel unprepared, start. The snowball does not care whether the hill is perfect. It cares that you have begun to roll it. Maybe today your roll is tiny. Maybe all you can manage is one focused block of work, one honest conversation, one calm decision, one step toward a healthier habit. That is enough to begin. The avalanche does not start as an avalanche. It starts as movement. And movement, repeated enough, becomes force. That is true for your body, your mind, your confidence, your career, your finances, and your peace. What feels small today may become the turning point you look back on later. That is why the humble step matters so much. It is the first inch of a transformed life. Do not wait for the perfect push. Give yourself the first push now. Then another. Then another. You are not trying to become someone else overnight. You are trying to become stronger through repetition. And repetition changes everything. The snowball growth effect is not magic. It is a law of compounding. Small choices grow. Small habits grow. Small beliefs grow. Small disciplines grow. Small wins grow. Small failures grow too, if you let them. That is why intentionality matters. Your future is being shaped by what you repeat. So choose wisely and keep choosing. The avalanche you want will not arrive if you keep standing at the top of the hill waiting for confidence to arrive first. Confidence is born in motion. Momentum is born in motion. Identity is born in motion. Success is born in motion. One small change is enough to begin. One small change can become a habit. One habit can become a pattern. One pattern can become a lifestyle. One lifestyle can become a legacy. That is the snowball. That is the power. That is the invitation in front of you right now. Do not dismiss the small beginning. Feed it. Protect it. Repeat it. Let it roll. Let it gather strength. Let it become more than you expected. Your life is waiting for the first push. And once it begins, the only thing left is to stay with it long enough for momentum to carry you into the person you were meant to become. Now take a breath and look at your life honestly. What is the one small change that would start your snowball today? Maybe it is waking up earlier. Maybe it is focusing for 20 minutes without distraction. Maybe it is writing the plan instead of carrying it in your head. Maybe it is saying no to the habit that keeps pulling you backward. Maybe it is taking one action you have delayed for too long. That one change matters more than you think. It is not about perfection. It is about direction. It is not about becoming massive overnight. It is about becoming consistent enough for growth to compound. Every avalanche starts somewhere. Every strong life starts somewhere. Every confident person started with one repeated choice that made the next choice easier. You can do that too. You can start the roll. You can keep it going. You can let the small change become a strong habit, then a stronger identity, then a life that looks very different from the one you are living now. The future does not need you to be flawless. It needs you to begin. And once you begin, the snowball effect will do what it always does. It will grow. It will gain weight. It will gain power. And if you stay committed, it will turn one change into the avalanche that changes everything. Keep going, because momentum is one of the most powerful forces you can ever create. It does not ask for perfection. It only asks for persistence. Keep going because one good decision today can make the next one easier tomorrow. Keep going because the life you want is often built from moments that seem too small to matter. Keep going because the small wins are never really small. They are the first signs of a future taking shape. Keep going because the old version of your life was built one habit at a time, and the new version can be built the same way. Keep going because your mind learns from repetition. Keep going because your confidence grows through evidence. Keep going because your identity is always listening to what you repeatedly do. Keep going because the snowball does not grow if you stop pushing it. Keep going because every layer adds strength. Keep going because the progress you cannot yet see is still becoming real. Keep going because the person who stays with the process long enough becomes the person who can hold the reward. Keep going because your story is not over, and your next small change may be the one that starts the avalanche. Keep going because that avalanche is not destruction. It is transformation. It is the gathering force of your commitment, your courage, your discipline, and your hope. Keep going because you are building something far bigger than a single good day. You are building a life that rolls forward with purpose. Keep going because the first push has already begun. Keep going because the snowball is in motion. Keep going because you are too. One more truth will help you keep the snowball alive. You do not need to control every outcome to build a successful life. You only need to control the next choice. Too many people quit because they are trying to manage a future they cannot fully see. They ask for certainty, but certainty rarely comes first. Action comes first. Faith in the process comes first. Repetition comes first. That is why the snowball works. It rewards the person who stays in motion without needing every answer at the start. A small choice today may feel ordinary, but ordinary choices repeated with care become extraordinary results over time. So do not disrespect the ordinary. Do not call your effort too small just because it does not look dramatic. The world often changes through quiet people making quiet decisions over and over again. A clean desk can become a clearer mind. A clearer mind can become a better plan. A better plan can become better work. Better work can become stronger results. That is the chain. That is the avalanche. And it begins with your willingness to keep choosing what strengthens you, even when the reward has not appeared yet. Keep choosing the small change. Keep feeding the right habit. Keep rolling the snowball. One day, the version of you that once felt impossible will feel natural, and that will be the moment you know the process worked. So when doubt shows up, do not treat it like a command. Treat it like weather. It may be loud for a moment, but it will pass if you keep moving with discipline. When laziness shows up, answer with a smaller step. When fear shows up, answer with a deeper breath. When delay shows up, answer with one action. That is how the snowball stays alive. Not by becoming perfect, but by becoming faithful. Faithful to the work. Faithful to the standard. Faithful to the future you are building. This is how strong people are made. They do not wait for life to become easy. They learn how to make progress inside the difficulty. They learn how to keep pushing the snowball until the mountain turns into momentum. And once momentum takes over, your life stops feeling like a burden and starts feeling like a build. That is the goal. That is the change. That is your next chapter. Keep going, because the snowball is already working when you keep choosing the next right thing. Keep going, because every small act of courage adds weight. Keep going, because your future deserves a person who does not quit in the middle. Keep going, and let the effort you repeat become the life you live. It starts small, but it can still become everything you truly need.